It started as a simple rescue mission, one man sent to find the missing daughter of the US president. But deep in the mountains of rural Spain, something far older and far more dangerous was waiting. An ancient parasite, a fanatical cult, and a plan to infect the world from the inside out. This is the complete story of Resident Evil 4. Let's get right into it. A young woman was surrounded by a group of cloaked individuals who appeared to be part of a cult. They attacked her with an axe, implying a ritualistic execution. Meanwhile, Leon S. Kennedy, a former police officer from Raccoon City, reflected on past events. After the biological disaster that overtook Raccoon City, he was forcibly recruited into a covert government program. Over the next 6 years, he underwent intense physical and tactical training, which nearly killed him. Now assigned a new mission, Leon traveled through a rural area of Spain to locate the president's missing daughter, Ashley Graham, accompanied by 2 local police officers. While in the car, one of the officers asked about his purpose for visiting the area. Leon answered briefly. The officer noted that many people had disappeared from the region over time, and they had been instructed to assist Leon fully. They arrived at the edge of the forest. One of the officers exited the car to relieve himself and heard a noise in the woods. He went to investigate and did not return. The second officer told Leon to go after him. Leon followed the trail deeper into the woods. Along the path, Leon observed strange wooden symbols and animal remains. He reached an old house and entered. Inside, he found objects similar to what he'd seen outside, including a wooden charm with a phrase written in Spanish. In the kitchen, he encountered a man speaking in a low voice. Leon asked about the missing officer, but found a bloodied badge instead. The man attacked, and Leon responded with force, killing him. In the basement of the house, Leon discovered more charms and several corpses, including the officer who had disappeared. He overheard on the radio that the other officer was also being attacked. Upstairs, Leon found a map and photographs of the girl he was trying to locate. He used a secure communications device to contact US authorities. The girl, known by the codename Baby Eagle, Leon, designated Condor 1, reported that she might be held in a nearby village. Footsteps approached the house, forcing Leon to escape. Following the road, he reached a village where he witnessed the remaining police officer being burned. Attempting to search the village, Leon was spotted by the locals, who attacked in large numbers, including one wielding a chainsaw who was named Dr. Salvador. After fighting them off, a bell rang from the nearby church. The villagers immediately stopped and walked toward the sound, speaking in unison as they left. Leon re-established contact with Roost, who informed him that a windmill near the lake might be a holding location for Baby Eagle. Leon proceeded there. Inside the building, a hatch led to a basement where a man was restrained. The man asked Leon for a cigarette. Before Leon could respond, a large man attacked him from behind, knocking him unconscious. He was the village chief, Bitores Mendez. He then injected Leon with a parasite contained in a syringe. While unconscious, Leon had visions of a hooded figure speaking ominous words. When he regained consciousness, he was chained to the ceiling alongside the man from before. The man introduced himself as Luis Serra. Luis mentioned that Leon may be looking for a woman. He also recalled hearing rumors about someone being taken to a church. A villager entered and attempted to kill Luis. Leon used the chain holding them to the ceiling to kill the attacker. Luis freed himself and escaped, leaving Leon with a key. Leon then contacted Roost again and reported that the president's daughter might have been moved to the church. He also requested a background check on Luis Serra. As Leon moved toward the church, he passed through another house and found several documents. One record, written by a village bookkeeper, described a boy who lived with his grandfather by the lake. The boy's mother had died in childbirth. As the grandfather's health declined, rumors of mental instability spread in the village. The bookkeeper was instructed to act if the situation worsened. Eventually, the cabin where the boy and his grandfather lived was set on fire while the villagers watched. The boy stood silently, and the next day, he was gone. A second document stated that a group wearing black robes had arrived from a nearby castle. They raised a flag with a spider-like emblem and preached about healing and salvation. They injected villagers with a substance, claiming it would cure their afflictions. The third document detailed worsening conditions in the village. Crops failed, livestock died, and food became scarce. Lord Sadler, the figure apparently in charge, ordered people to be sacrificed. The records listed a series of selections. 6 people at first, then more each month. including 2 outsiders. These individuals were used in a ritual. Near this area, Leon found a painting of the hooded man from his earlier vision. After traveling further, he finds himself inside the chief's house. At that moment, Chief Mendez, who had previously attacked him, returned and beat him again. He mentioned that Leon's blood had accepted a gift before a woman in a red dress intervened, shooting the attacker several times. The chief retreated, and Leon was left to consider what the gift might mean. Roost soon contacted Leon again with the background check on Luis Serra. It was revealed that Luis had once worked as a researcher for the Umbrella Corporation. Leon reacted negatively to this information and expressed regret about trusting him. Continuing forward, Leon reached a cliffside view of the lake and saw a man dumping a body into the water from a boat. Moments later, a large creature the villagers call Del Lago devoured the body. Despite this, Leon continued with his mission and took a boat into the lake. The creature attacked, and Leon used harpoons to fight it off. Eventually, the creature was killed, but Leon began coughing up blood and lost consciousness. While unconscious, he experienced another vision involving the hooded figure. The man referred to Leon as a sacrificial lamb and spoke of a transformation that would bind him permanently to their group. It was clear the parasite injected into Leon was progressing. He was eventually contacted by Roost, who stated that he had been out of communication for over 3 hours. Despite the growing symptoms of the infection, Leon pushed forward with his mission to locate and extract Ashley Graham. Upon reaching the church, Leon called out Ashley's name. He eventually found her hidden behind a side door. She reacted defensively and attempted to flee, initially assuming Leon was a threat. He worked to calm her, explaining who he was and the purpose of his mission. Ashley soon realized she could trust him, but as they spoke, they noticed villagers surrounding the church. Leon and Ashley fled. Along the way, she experienced a vision similar to those Leon had been suffering, suggesting she had also been infected by the parasite. Leon contacted Roost and confirmed that he had located the target, requesting evacuation at a nearby extraction point. Continuing to evade pursuit, Leon and Ashley came across a cabin. There, they reunited with Luis Serra. Leon expressed distrust, knowing now about Luis's prior involvement with Umbrella, but Luis offered to help them fight off the infected villagers. The group was soon under siege and had to defend the cabin. After a long confrontation, they managed to hold off the attackers and take shelter temporarily. Ashley began coughing up blood, confirming the parasite was progressing. Luis explained that the condition was caused by a parasite known as Plaga, and that both Ashley and Leon had been infected with it. He stated that the infection could be removed surgically, but only at an early stage. Luis revealed a scar on his chest, showing that he had once been infected as well, but had the parasite removed. Luis then left the cabin, stating he had a plan and would contact Leon again soon. Separately, Luis met with Ada Wong, a woman from Leon's past. She asked if Luis had secured an item called Amber. Luis said he had hidden it before being captured. Ada reminded him that the deal for extraction only applied if he brought the amber. Luis said he would retrieve it, along with something else. Leon received word from Roost that weather conditions were preventing helicopter access to the extraction point. Not long afterward, he and Ashley were attacked by Chief Mendez. He referenced purification of their souls and demonstrated superhuman strength, immune to gunfire. Leon ultimately used explosives to bring him down, but this triggered a mutation, transforming him into a monstrous creature. After a difficult battle, Leon killed him once and for all. Ashley broke open a window so she and Leon could escape the burning structure. They fled toward the castle, but the drawbridge began closing as they approached. Once inside the castle, Leon received a call from Luis, who stated he had obtained medicine to temporarily delay the parasite's progression and instructed Leon to meet him in the castle courtyard. As they moved through the castle, Leon and Ashley encountered Ramon Salazar, the young-looking but high-ranking nobleman who served Lord Sadler. Salazar demanded Leon surrender Ashley so she could fulfill her purpose. Leon refused. Salazar warned that Ashley was the key to spreading their influence globally under Sadler's will, and then ordered Leon's execution. Leon and Ashley continued through the castle. In one area, Ashley collapsed due to the infection. She grabbed Leon's knife and began to speak in a voice not her own, calling Leon a lamb.
Temperance, child.
However, she managed to regain control before injuring him and ran away in fear. Leon searched for another route and encountered Ada Wong again. Their reunion was tense. Ada avoided questions about her employer and advised Leon to leave the area without Ashley if he had the chance. Leon declined, determined to complete the mission. Ada departed. Later, Leon found Ashley sitting alone and frightened. She apologized for earlier and expressed fear over her actions under the influence of the parasite. Leon assured her they would push through it together. Leon received another call from Luis, who told him to meet in the ballroom. As they attempted to proceed, Leon and Ashley were attacked by cultists. Ashley escaped, while Leon was briefly captured. She took shelter and began working to free Leon by collecting keys and navigating the castle herself. Eventually, Ashley reached Leon and freed him, but was immediately captured by one of Salazar's servants. Ada observed this from outside and informed Leon through comms that Ashley had been taken to the throne room. Leon reached the throne room and found Ashley bound. Before he could help, the creature immobilized him. Cult members forced Ashley to ingest a black liquid, accelerating the infection. Salazar bid Leon farewell before the creature threw him into a deep hole. Leon survived the fall and proceeded through underground ruins. He again experienced hallucinations from the hooded figure, who referred to Ashley as their new daughter. When Leon awoke, he found Luis nearby. Luis had brought the medicine and administered a dose to slow Leon's infection. He reminded Leon that the effect was temporary and would soon wear off. Leon questioned Luis's motives. Luis said he simply wanted to help. As they proceeded, they discovered files from the mine's foreman, describing the progression of infection among workers exposed to airborne parasite spores. Symptoms included coughing, blood, hallucinations, and eventual full control by the parasite. The two were then forced to battle two large infected creatures. After escaping on a minecart, they were attacked again. During this encounter, Luis was stabbed from behind by Major Jack Krauser, Leon's former trainer during his government service. Leon quickly realized that Luis had been attacked by his former ally. Krauser retrieved a piece of amber from Luis's jacket and revealed himself as the individual responsible for abducting Ashley Graham and delivering her to Spain. Leon and Krauser engaged in an intense knife battle, but Krauser ultimately escaped. Luis, fatally wounded, stayed behind and gave Leon a key to his laboratory, instructing him to use it to remove the plaga from both himself and Ashley. Before dying, Luis expressed regret for his past and questioned whether redemption was still possible. As Leon proceeded, he found documents confirming Luis's identity as the boy from the earlier village records, the one who disappeared after his grandfather's death. This tied Luis's past to the events surrounding the infection and the cult. Leon eventually emerged from the mines and discovered Krauser and Salazar preparing to send Ashley to Lord Sadler. When Leon arrived, Salazar tried to deliver a speech, but Leon immediately opened fire.
You talk too much. Failed! You vulgar, utterly uncivilized mongrel!
Though wounded, Salazar survived and transformed into a grotesque creature. After a prolonged battle, Leon killed him. He then spotted Krauser escaping with Ashley aboard a speedboat. Leon located another boat nearby, but before he could leave, Ada Wong intercepted him. She revealed she had the keys and offered him transport. The two exchanged tense words about how the Raccoon City incident had changed them. Ada left, and Leon continued the pursuit on his own. In the next facility, Leon encountered more mutated creatures and eventually found Ashley again. He administered the medicine Luis had given him, slowing her infection. Ashley stabilized, but Leon's condition was worsening. Ashley expressed gratitude, and the two resumed their journey to Luis's laboratory, where they could perform the surgical removal of the parasite. Inside the hillside facility, they came across a large piece of amber containing dormant parasites. At that moment, Sadler appeared and revealed that the parasites, known as Las Plagas, were the foundation of his cult's power. He removed his hood, exposing a mutation at the back of his skull, and attempted to use his control over the parasites to force Ashley to shoot Leon. She managed to resist and destroyed the surrounding cultists instead. Sadler then left with her, and Leon struggled to regain control of his own body. Pushing deeper into the island complex, Leon encountered Krauser once again. He demanded an explanation for Krauser's betrayal. Krauser spoke of a failed mission that had nearly cost him his life, an experience that led him to believe power was the only path to survival. He claimed that the cult had given him that power. Krauser mutated, developing hardened bone structures and unnatural strength, and challenged Leon to a final duel. After a difficult battle, Leon fatally stabbed Krauser, who acknowledged Leon's skill before dying. Not long after, Leon received help from a helicopter pilot named Mike. Mike provided aerial support as Leon advanced through enemy territory. Despite being a minor character, his assistance was significant. Tragically, Mike's helicopter was soon shot down, and he was killed in the explosion. Leon eventually found Ashley in the same altar room where she had earlier been forced to drink the black liquid. Before he could reach her, Sadler appeared again. He expressed his belief that, through the parasite, all people could be united and free of fear. He insisted that Leon accept the gift and join them in peace. Sadler began the final stage of Leon's transformation, but Ada intervened and created an opening for Leon to rescue Ashley. With Ashley in his arms, Leon rushed to Luis's lab. Though suffering from hallucinations and severe physical strain, he managed to begin the extraction process using high-intensity lasers. The procedure was painful, but successful. After removing the parasite from Ashley, Leon lost consciousness. Ashley, now recovered, used the same machine to remove Leon's parasite. When he awoke, they were both free of infection. Continuing toward the island's outer perimeter, Leon and Ashley discovered Ada strung up in a tower. Leon freed her. As they regrouped, Sadler returned in his final mutated form. Ada provided heavy fire support, helping Leon survive the encounter. After an intense confrontation, Leon delivered a fatal blow to Sadler using a rocket launcher. With the cult leader defeated, Ada reclaimed the amber and offered Leon a ride out of the facility. He declined, so she tossed him a key to a nearby jet ski before disappearing once more. Leon and Ashley escaped the collapsing island on the jet ski. As they sped away, Ashley joked about making Leon her personal bodyguard. Leon assured her that she had proven herself capable of survival. The two made it safely to open waters, finally concluding their harrowing mission. However, the story isn't over, because Ada had been operating in the shadows on a mission of her own. In 2004, Ada Wong was dispatched by Albert Wesker to retrieve a sample of a mysterious biological material known as the amber, along with all relevant research data. The sample had surfaced during Los Iluminados' experiments in the secluded region of Valdalobos. Ada initiated contact with Dr. Luis Serra Navarro, a former Umbrella researcher now working for the cult. Luis had been the one to first uncover the amber's properties after discovering it in the cult's storage room. Its dormant potential caught his attention, and he brought it back for testing, finding its connection to parasitic life forms both significant and dangerous. Ada and Luis struck a deal. He would hand over the sample and data in exchange for extraction from the region. Before the agreement could be fulfilled, Luis and the other researchers were forcibly infected with the Las Plagas parasite. Unlike most, Luis managed to suppress the parasite before it took full control and fled. He hid the amber somewhere in Valdalobos, but was soon captured and imprisoned in Salazar's castle, facing torture and likely execution. Ada infiltrated the castle, disguised as a zealot, and intercepted Luis as he was being escorted from his cell. Eliminating the guards, she revealed her identity and guided him toward the location of the hidden amber. Before they could reach it, they were ambushed by cultists and Salazar's guardian, Pasanta. Luis escaped using a pulley system, instructing Ada to meet him later at the village church. Ada stayed behind to face Pasanta, sustaining a minor wound during the encounter and experiencing the first of several disorienting hallucinations triggered by the entity's attacks. She survived and made her way outside the castle. After escaping the castle's fortified outer perimeter by destroying its defensive catapults, Ada updated Wesker on her progress. The area had become increasingly unstable due to the abduction of Ashley Graham, which stirred the Ganado population into heightened aggression. Ada's path to the church involved navigating through heavy resistance, but she remained focused. As she moved through the outskirts, she observed Leon Kennedy fighting his way through enemies in pursuit of Ashley. At the church, Ada learned that the bell served as a rallying signal for Sadler's followers. She rang it to divert enemy attention from Leon's position. However, Louise was not there. Unbeknownst to Ada, he had been recaptured and was now imprisoned in the basement of his old home. With no sign of Luis, Ada received a report from Wesker indicating his signal had been lost near the forest. She moved toward the location to investigate. On the way, Pasanta reappeared and subjected her to another illusionary assault. The confrontation ended with Ada experiencing increasingly severe physiological symptoms, but she pushed through and arrived at the manor in time to see Mendez attacking Leon. Ada intervened by wounding Mendez with a shot and drawing him away. After Leon left the area, Ada infiltrated the manor to search for clues about Luis's whereabouts. She overheard Mendez instructing villagers to detain any outsiders and take them to the nearby factory basement for judgment. On her way out, Mendez attacked her again, forcing her into a retreat toward the factory. Pursued by villagers and their leader, Ada activated her retinal scanner device to track footprints. This led her to the basement cell, where Luis and Leon had already fought off their captor. Luis had left behind a note with frequencies for radio communication written on a cigar. Ada contacted him and learned of a remote cabin he intended to use as a rendezvous point. Before she could leave the area, more villagers attacked, and she was briefly overwhelmed. Outside, she collapsed from the combined effects of fatigue and residual hallucinations. Ada later woke inside of Mendez's manor, having been stabilized by Wesker. Though he provided medical support, he also issued a stern warning not to fail the mission. Refocused, Ada discovered orders concerning the release of El Gigante and the assembly of villagers around the cabin. She set off across a bridge toward the villa, only for the bridge to collapse under El Gigante's assault. Ada fought and killed the creature before continuing. Reuniting with Luis near the villa, Ada asked about the amber's location. Luis insisted he would retrieve it, but needed to collect something else first. He was vague about his intentions, which frustrated Ada, but he eventually explained that he required ingredients to formulate a suppressant for the Plaga infection. His goal was to help Leon and Ashley, and potentially Ada, by slowing the infection's progression. Luis noted 3 key ingredients needed for the suppressant: a mineral found in a container marked by red ink, yeast stored in a gold bottle, and chemical properties extracted from the scales of a blue butterfly. He gave Ada a note detailing their locations within Salazar's castle and departed to retrieve the amber. During her search, Ada crossed paths with Leon again. The exchange ended with Ada escaping through a window to continue her mission. Later, Luis contacted her to arrange a meeting at the castle's upper levels to exchange the suppressant ingredients for the amber. Upon reaching the rendezvous point, Ada informed Wesker that she had not yet secured the amber, but that Leon was assisting. Wesker authorized continued cooperation. Just then, Ada spotted Verdugo, transporting Ashley deeper into the castle, and relayed this information to Leon before abruptly ending the call. While gathering the final suppressant component, Ada came across more of Isidro Uriarte Talavera's notes. He described Pasanta's biology, explaining that it had embedded a fragment of itself within her during their previous encounters. This fragment was capable of manipulating her mind. The only way to end its influence was to kill the host creature. Ada eventually met with Luis, who had completed the suppressant formula and delivered it after handing over the amber. Exposure to the amber immediately triggered an intense reaction in Ada's infected body, accelerating the Plaga's activity. Luis administered the suppressant, which seemed ineffective at first, and drew Pasanta to the area. Ada ordered Luis to flee with the amber while she held off the creature. She hid as the monster searched for her, but the suppressant eventually suppressed her symptoms enough to mask her presence. With Pasanta temporarily deterred, Ada used her scanning device to locate Luis, following a trail he left through red markings. The search led her to the Gregorio waterway. The tunnel system was unstable and infested with novistadors, a species of infected BOWs that nested in the underground layers. Ada fought her way through the narrow, damp tunnels and finally reached the abandoned mines where she located Luis's temporary lab. There, she encountered Pasanta once again. This time, Ada no longer intended to escape or delay the inevitable. With the suppressant partially stabilizing her symptoms and knowledge of the creature's biology from Talavera's notes, she set a plan into motion. Ada lured Pasanta toward a suspended metal gantry above a cliffside section of the mine. Timing her attack, she released the gantry, crushing the creature beneath its weight. But instead of killing it, the damage caused Pasanta to mutate into a more grotesque form. The ensuing battle was more intense than their previous encounters. Ada used the environment to her advantage, exploiting exposed weak points and targeting the creature's limbs to destabilize it. After a prolonged fight, Pasanta's main body collapsed. However, its tail detached and struck Ada, flinging her deeper into the mines. Wounded and fatigued, Ada was forced into one last confrontation. In the end, She delivered the final blow, and the death of Pasanta triggered the purging of the parasite fragment within her body. She coughed up the piece and crushed it beneath her boot. With her mind clear and her symptoms fading, Ada resumed the search for Luis. She contacted him via radio and found him barely alive, fatally wounded after an ambush by Jack Krauser. Luis revealed that Krauser had stolen the amber and was making his way to the island. He gave Ada one last thank you before cutting off communication. Ada arrived shortly afterward and found Luis near death. Krauser had already left the area, taking the amber with him. Ada didn't linger. Nearby, she saw Ashley being led toward Salazar, while Krauser escaped across the rooftops of the castle's clock tower. Ada contacted Leon to inform him of Ashley's new location before continuing her pursuit of Krauser. Ada made her way through the castle and eventually acquired the key to a boat docked at the river. Leon joined her, and the two departed together, setting course for the island where Krauser was believed to be heading. Before stepping off the boat, Ada discreetly planted a tracking device on Leon, ensuring she could monitor his location on the island. Meanwhile, Krauser had successfully delivered both Ashley and the amber to Osmond Sadler. Ada confirmed this by observing the handoff through her rifle scope from a distance. At that moment, Wesker made contact and informed her of a new objective. He handed her a black briefcase containing an override device designed to connect with the island's main communication terminal. Ada accepted the task without resistance. Ada reached the facility where Leon had just administered Luis's suppressant to Ashley. She contacted him again to confirm Luis's death and pointed Leon toward Luis's hidden lab. On the way to the comms facility, Ada encountered several Regenerador, advanced bioweapons noted for their unnatural resilience. She also faced their more lethal variant, the Iron Maiden, equipped with spike-like protrusions and enhanced aggression. Inside the facility, she discovered research documents identifying a test subject named Martinico. Originally weak and unstable, Martinico had been repeatedly exposed to the amber. Over time, the specimen developed advanced regenerative capabilities, rendering it nearly impervious to traditional firearms. Despite physical improvements, the subject retained minimal intelligence. One document noted that the only effective countermeasure involved high-intensity lasers. The same logs revealed that Martinico had escaped containment and had slaughtered most of the research staff. Ada encountered the creature during her exploration and was forced to flee, eventually trapping it temporarily behind reinforced security doors. Continuing her objective, Ada found a note written by Annabelle, one of the lead researchers. It revealed that Krauser had willingly submitted himself for experimentation. Through the amber, he had been transformed into a superior dominant plaga host. The findings emphasized that the dominant species, when fused with the amber, could grow and evolve at a far faster rate than the subordinate variants. Nearing the end of the complex, Ada navigated a corridor lined with lasers, dodging each with careful precision. Upon reaching the communications terminal, she connected the override device. Wesker initiated a countdown to destroy the island. His plan was to eliminate all remaining assets, including Leon and Ashley, considering them acceptable collateral damage in the broader pursuit of global transformation. Ada hesitated. Though her orders were clear, she wasn't willing to see Leon and Ashley die for the sake of Wesker's vision. She inserted a secondary USB device into the terminal, altering the detonation sequence to limit the explosion's reach and reduce casualties. As the system accepted her override, Martinico broke through its temporary restraints and resumed pursuit. Ada baited the creature into the laser corridor and activated the system at full intensity, reducing Martinico to a pile of smoking tissue. With the override complete, Ada checked the tracking device on Leon and located Ashley's distress signal near the docks. She secured a jet ski and returned to the shoreline. By then, Leon had reached the cave sanctuary and was in a final confrontation with Sadler. Ada arrived in time to provide support. During the fight, she disabled Sadler's hold on Ashley and delivered a rocket launcher specifically designed for heavy armored targets. Leon used it to cripple the mutated Sadler. Afterward, he dealt the final blow using the enemy's own weapon. Leon moved to secure the amber, but Ada took it first. Then they went their separate ways. While in the air, Ada contacted Wesker to report mission completion. But when Wesker revealed his plan to use the amber to initiate mass-scale human evolution at the cost of millions, Ada refused to be complicit. She held the pilot at gunpoint and ordered a course correction. Below, she watched Leon and Ashley ride across the waves to safety. Meanwhile, Wesker, observing from a nearby ship, monitored the status of the island's detonation. The destruction was incomplete, with most of the facility still intact. Wesker recovered Krauser's body for Plaga extraction. Despite Ada's betrayal, he considered the setback minor and was confident his plans remained on track. Ada's defiance hadn't gone unnoticed, but she had made her decision. She kept the amber, distanced herself from Wesker's command, and left Leon and Ashley behind, safe for now. She had once been content serving powerful employers in exchange for information, leverage, and survival. But for now, she was one step ahead. The helicopter continued across the water, disappearing into the fading night, its destination unknown. Ada wasn't interested in redemption, nor was she searching for closure. She was simply moving forward, one mission, one choice at a time.